These are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the tales that I tell so well. I ain't got no freaky tales today. I'm still in America. And y'all know the vagina on strike around here. But in 20 more days, baby, I'm about to escape. And then I'll get some freaky tales. Ooh, lining them up. Hey, Kobe, stop tripping, man. I just got back from picking up my mail. I'm about to head to LA soon. It's my homie Anthony's birthday. Look what I got him for his birthday. His favorite drink, vodka out of a plastic bottle. Cost me $10. Happy birthday, Anthony. And dude, can you believe I just replaced my phone. And within 2 weeks, I broke the shit again. So I gotta get this set up before I leave to LA. I'm gonna do the best I can not to break no more phones. And I know some of y'all probably thinking I was drunk, but I wasn't. I was in Starbucks. And yeah, Starbucks banned me from all the Starbucks. I still go to Starbucks every morning. So I was completely sober. And just shit slipped out of my hand, man. Oh, look. My very first check from a Moret plan. Hell, I love it when a plan comes together. All right, cool. They still owe me some more money, but it's my first check, $220. I'm building a team for this, by the way. And then, bam, family law court. I think this is my final on my divorce. But they just sent me some paperwork last week. Go figure. Yeah. Yeah, this is the finale. I am officially divorced. Smoke break. Hey. So today I need y'all to comment. Because I want y'all opinion on a couple things. Okay? First of all, I'm thinking about suing Uber. Come on, Kobe. And before we get into that, I want to talk about my website. Now, on my website, just so you know, all my social media is there. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Go on my website and follow me on these other platforms. I post a lot of shit there too. Anyway, I got a little situation with my website, and I'm actually going to talk to Anthony about it tonight, since he was the first designer on it. Now, I'm a man that's fair and balanced, like Fox fake news. You know, a good deal is when everyone is happy. And right now, I'm happy, but I'm not happy. So let me explain. So I originally hired Anthony, right, to get the job done. And ended up paying him $500. And mind you, Anthony did do a good job. I'll give him his props, right? He did a good job. But ChatGPT, you know, when ChatGPT analyzed my website and said, all right, it's nice, but before you start spending money on advertising, you need to fix all this, add this, and do this, and do this. Gave me a whole list of stuff. So I'm like, all right, Ed, This is what ChatGPT said, man. I need you to handle this. Included with the $500 I paid you. Well, I'll be honest, keep it 100. I just completely lost confidence that Anthony was going to get it done. So I hired a dude in Bangladesh. And I paid him $370. Now, mind you, right before I hired Anthony to do this, I was talking to the Bangladesh dude about getting my website done. But Anthony called me up. And I said, well, I'll go with my homie, right? But I went and paid the Bangladesh dude $370. And look, what Anthony gave me was a nice car. What the Bangladesh dude did, he pulled an exhibit. I mean, he put my shit on Dayton's, hydros, put 15s in the trunk, tinted the windows, suicide doors, custom candy paint job. I mean, that motherfucker really went in. I mean, he got so shitty on my website, the motherfucker need a diaper. So now look, now I'm in a predicament because my original budget was $300. But now I ended up spending almost $900. Well, $870 to be exact. Blew my budget. So of course I ain't gonna ask Anthony for no money back, but I came up with a good idea. And I'm gonna pitch to him tonight as I give him his vodka in a plastic bottle. 20 thumbnails. You know, I gotta pay cash for my thumbnails. I think since he didn't get the changes done on my website, he can give me 20 thumbnails and we good. I'll call it even and I'll be a satisfied customer. So put in the comments if you think that's fair. So that way I can show Anthony because I think it's fair. Anyway, on to my court stuff. Now, I gotta tell y'all what happened this week. I think I mentioned it, if you see my previous videos, I mentioned it how I got court on June 29th on a crime that's not my crime. But because I'm trying to get the global entry, I need to get that shit up off of there. So I submitted to go to court remotely on this case. I can't fucking believe it, man. The judge wrote back and denied my request to do it remotely. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I told you I'm leaving the country. So this is what I did to try to handle that situation. I wrote the judge a letter. First of all, I took a picture of my passport along with the stamp, that Costa Rica stamp. I took pictures, a screenshot of my Airbnb rentals. 6 months that I was in Costa Rica. And I wrote him a letter and I'm like, look, I understand you denied my request to do this remotely. I'm still leaving it. I go, either we can push the date before June 2nd, because I got court on June 3rd and then I'm out of here. I go, so we can push the date before June 2nd if you want to see me in person. But otherwise, take the evidence I'm presenting and remove that crime out of my name because I wasn't even in the country. So we're going to see what happens. I got that letter in to the courts on Tuesday. All right, so now to the Uber thing. A while I was thinking about it on why it is I think I should sue their ass. And it all stems back to the Hertz situation. Because Uber introduced me to Hertz. Now with Hertz, when I first sued them, and they paid me last year, right? They just settled me on a lawsuit. At first I was thinking billing mistakes, right? That's what I was thinking. But now that I'm suing them again, It's not a billing mistake. This is their MO. This is what they do. This is how they conduct business. I ain't the only one they jacking everybody. And that shit ain't cool. And because Uber is referring all the drivers over to Hertz to a known predator. They're a predator. So Uber gotta know, and they're in on it, right? They feed Hertz some drivers some money, they gotta be getting paid. So it makes me wonder, does Uber know that Hertz is just ripping everyone off? So I'm gonna file suit on them. Because even if they are innocent, they need to know that Hertz is deliberately ripping off the drivers. That ain't cool, man. I work hard for my money. And you know what I noticed with Uber, the qualify for the rent-a-car to the Uber program, you gotta do like 30 rides a week, right? So they telling everyone's business. And telling my business, look, I always ask, every time I take an Uber ride, I always ask the driver, what's their ride count? And I've done this in Costa Rica, Mexico, America, and Colombia. None of these motherfuckers ever done more rides than me. That means I made more money than all of them. Ones in Mexico, Colombia, and Mexico don't count. That don't count because of conversion. But I sure have made more money than every fucking driver in America. So because they reveal how many rides I have, that makes me a perfect target for these motherfuckers to whack me. And they've whacked me for thousands. It was thousands on the first lawsuit. There's thousands on this next one. So that's why I'm like, fuck that. Uber got to get it too. I was telling y'all, I got to get the fuck up out of this country before I sue somebody else. Well, too late. You know, I started to draw up the lawsuit yesterday. I'm like, let me wait. It takes me about an hour to draw up a lawsuit. I don't want to get away at my workouts right now because I'm going back home to Colombia, and right now I'm a fat ass. So I got to write that shit up Saturday, tomorrow, or Sunday. You know, and this Hertz situation is going to be funny because they really got themselves a problem. And I think about when I notice a situation, Michael Clark III, this motherfucker, he charcoal black, and he goes by Michael Clark III. I'm just gonna call that motherfucker Uncle Ruckus. Straight up Uncle, he a Uncle Ruckus type nigga. So anyway, he causing all this. When I first called him about it, he gets on the phone and he tells me, oh, I see on this invoice, we overcharged you by $800, so I'll give you $275 back. No, nigga, you gonna give me all my money back. Now that triggered the first lawsuit. Now the second lawsuit on Hertz, now mind you, I can file again, but most likely, I'm gonna tell the judge to amend the current lawsuit so I don't have to file again. If he doesn't want to amend it, then I'll file again. I'm gonna let the judge decide that. So, when the dude, I told him about the court date and showed him the paperwork, and he decides to repo the car. Mind you, I told him on a Tuesday, I'm coming in on Friday, and I would come in earlier, but I know you guys will charge me. He repoed the car on Wednesday. Then they hit me with a bill of $3,000, including repo fees and made up shit, broken windshield, all this extra shit, right? Well, they're gonna have a hard time explaining that I owe them $3,000, and at the time, they were depositing and giving me some of my money back. Make it make sense, man. Comes back to Uncle Ruckus. So that's 2. Here we got 3, because now I'm about to sue Uber. And then I was talking to my homie Dan. He goes, bro, if they're doing this to all the drivers like that, you might be on to something as far as a class action lawsuit. He said, maybe you might be on to something. And he said, then he tells me, he goes, and I happen to know 2 very good class action lawsuit attorneys. He goes, let's see how this pans out with your cases. He goes, especially at Hearst. This is your 2nd time. He goes, if you win this one. And he said, yeah, I bet Uber's in it too. I go, hey man, that's wrong. Don't be doing this to the public. Seriously, no. You know what I'm saying? I work hard for my money. I don't want nobody stealing money from me. I mean, if y'all don't remember on my previous videos, fucking because of Hearst, just ransacked my motherfucking bank accounts, jacking my cheese, almost had me homeless in Colombia. And because I had to sue Wells Fargo, which I lost that one, which I shouldn't have. But whatever, the judge ruled I lost. You know what I'm saying? All because they stealing from me. And I was mad at Wells Fargo because I tell Wells Fargo, you block them from taking any more money. And then Wells Fargo let those motherfuckers still take me for my cheese, bro. Mind blowing. All this extra because motherfuckers can't do business right. And especially with this corrupt ass political environment in America in, I think everybody feel like they could just jack you. You know what I'm saying? These corporations, oh, the president's a crook. We could be good crooks, you know. The fish rots from the head, bro. Can't wait to get my ass up out of here. So y'all let me know. Am I being fair with the website situation? Oh, and by the way, dude, I'm so happy with my website. Y'all have no idea. Right now, today, they just finished the meta tracking system. On Monday, I'm going to go ahead and pay them for the Facebook ads to create that. Then sometime next week, I'm going to do the Facebook ad, which is another $150. $100 for the Instagram ad. Have them create that. So now I'll be completely set up. And I'm not even going to turn it on until I get my ass back to Colombia. And then I'm going to turn it on as far as paying Facebook to run those ads. Then I got to pay this dude to monitor everything for 30 days. I'm giving him a trial. I'm paying a couple $100 for that. And then after the 30 days, he wants $500 a month. But we're going to see what happens in this first 30 days. But yeah, man, I'm rest the road, bro. Woo! You know what? If it wasn't for me having to pick up my cell phone, I would let that Moret plan check just sit there. Because I don't even plan to cash in until I'm ready to bounce up out of there. And I had a feeling that was going to happen. It was just going to be a one check. And they still owe me about 5 more checks, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, something like that. Hey, man, I'm having fun with this. By the way, I'm building a sales team with my insurance. I will walk you through, tell you what to do to get your license. With a Moret plan, you don't need no license. I'm building a team for that also. If these 2 options do not work for you, I totally get it. But I got a list that I bought. 300 companies, and they all looking for remote workers, paying up to $20 an hour. I bought the list from one of my favorite YouTubers for $30, and I'm selling it for $20. So you need a remote job, holler at your boy, or just buy some insurance from him. That one I ain't gonna speak on it. But I'm working on a deal, a really, really nice deal, and I already submitted the proposal. But I ain't, until the ink is signed, I ain't gonna speak on it. I'm gonna wait till it's done. Actually, I'm gonna wait till I actually get a check for it. But if that particular deal goes through, along with that $100 a day I'm saving, And it's a very good chance I'm going to win my lawsuit with Hertz. And last year, they paid me pretty fast. They actually got me cashed out within a couple weeks. I might be sitting all right when I get to Columbia. But let's not count the chickens before they hatch. All right. I got to finish up, hit my goal, get down to the Verizon store, swap out my phone, and drive from San Diego to Los Angeles. Let me get on my grind. Hasta luego.